everybody, welcome back. You've been watching The Hunt. I am going to ask Leslie Sue to rejoin me. She is the co-founder and chief creative officer of SUNFLOW. It is a super cool new chair that's out on the market. Leslie, are you with me?
I am.
All right, fantastic. So we were just watching it. So, I mean, I got to tell you, I am just absolutely fascinated with the idea and then following that through the process to actually have it appear in that commercial that we just saw. And I mean, obviously you're a serial entrepreneur, so you can walk us through that process, but let's talk first about the chair itself. What amazing idea. I mean, again, stemming from a need, a gap that you had, you know, taking your two small children, you know, to the beach. And, you know, many of us can relate to that with or without children, right? Getting to the beach is half the battle. But it's got everything there that you need.
And yeah, you know, everything kind of started with, I always kind of joke about it, but it was I guess it was a little selfish. I kind of really wanted to make a chair that I loved and I wish someone had done for me.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of where it all started. I just really wanted, I go to the beach and I stay for probably all day. But, you know, I might read, I might go in the water, I might play with the kids, I might take a nap. There's lots of things that I can do there.
Sure.
But I definitely want to be comfortable. So I found that number one, I wasn't very comfortable in my other beach chair. So that was probably number one. The other was that I always obsessively had to have a shade.
Yes, so, I love it. That's one of my favorite features because I do not like to go in the sun with my face in the sun. So is when you pull that shade over, is there SPF or something in that shade to help prevent the rays coming through?
So the shade has two panels, which I always found it hard with my one shade to kind of angle it to where I needed it to be. So it makes it really versatile. And then the fabric that we use is I guess it would be SPF 98. So it's basically blocking 98% of the sun's harmful rays. So you literally, I mean, you're not getting the bad rays from the sun, just from that light fabric. So another thing was really tricky was to keep it light, you know, and not really be like a wall between you and the sun. So it's not dark and it's, you know, it's very lightweight.
Yeah.
Feels like nothing, but really protects you, which was important.
Yeah, no, it's incredible invention. You know, I mean, it's just because I mean, we all know like the sun is good for you to an extent, right? I mean, we're all kind of deficient in vitamin D, but you know, but at the same time, you know, it too much is not good for you. So, well done on that. What are some other features?
So another thing that these are all just basically my pet peeves.
Yeah.
I would go and put a drink in the drink holders. And they were made for Coca-Cola or some soda, but my water bottle never fit, so I just stuck that in the sand.
Awesome.
So our drink holder folds down, goes on the right or left, and it adjusts to the size of your drink. So you could, you know, put a White Claw or a High Noon in there, and it won't slide out the side. It'll just be a belt around it, and, you know, could actually expand big enough to actually fit a whole wine bottle.
So cool.
Or a bottle of Move, like whatever you want with that
whatever the beverage of choice is, yes.
Yeah. So that helped me a lot because just having a sandy water bottle is kind of another pet peeve. The other thing that is, I always usually sit really at the water's edge. I like my feet in the water, but unfortunately I sometimes might be not paying attention and the waves come up, the tide comes up. So I've had a couple times where my phone is just sitting under my leg in the chair. So I didn't want it to get too hot and, you know, no exposure to the salt and water, and the wave comes up and my phone is history. So we made a dry bag, which is right there, that you can see it's water resistant. Actually, it's waterproof except for the zipper because we need a little airflow in there. And then it actually goes on the right or left, depending on which side you prefer. Some people have even put on both because you know, it can hold your mobile devices or anything like your wallet.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a safe place to keep things.
That's awesome. And is it easy to carry?
Yeah. So there's, you know, it actually, we have a patented design, utility design that it actually telescopes down. So the chair itself is very high and it can support your back and your head. But as you fold it down, it's, you know, only a square. So it's compact, which was another thing because we ended up biking to the beach a lot. and the other chairs were very cumbersome because they're long.
Yeah.
Our chair is small.
Gosh, I mean, it seems like you've thought of everything. So walk me through, just so you get the idea, and now I know that you have experience in manufacturing and working with suppliers and all that, but it's different today than it was 15, 20 years ago. We're in a different market. The supply chain is challenging across the board. So what would you say is like the key ingredient to taking the idea and then taking that first step and then all the way through to manufacturing and then supply?
First thing I'd probably say is make sure you have a good idea. So, just like many of your listeners, we have so many ideas. So you really, I've had so many ideas.
Yeah.
So just to wean through and really make sure that one might stick, and why. You have to really, what's going to make you different than other, because, unfortunately, everything you kind of need to survive is out there. So are you making a better version? What makes it different? Why would people want to buy yours, right? So that's kind of always questions that we ask ourselves when we come up with our ideas. And, we haven't really gone for it until you really feel like one will stick. And then, from handbags to beach chairs, it's really not the easiest transition. But I do think that, we have many years experience in the business world. So as I mentioned before, you can't kind of switch directions all the time.
Right.
Stick to make sure that what you want to do is what you believe in and you're really going to, follow it through, because the connections you make along the way are completely priceless. We could have never done this without the help of people we've come across along the way, even friends, like a doctor might have a cousin who has developed something like this. Well, connect me with them. And then you talk to them and they're like, oh, well, I might know somebody who can help you. This is how it happened. It literally happened through friends of friends, kindness, people wanting to help.
It's such a great point, Leslie, because, you can't go it alone in life, right? So that is just another great entrepreneurial lesson. We are about out of time. I just want to thank you so much for joining us. I hope you come back, let us know how it's going, and talk more entrepreneurial stuff. So thank you so much for joining us. I would like to say thank you so much to all my guests today and the crew. Thank you so much, and thanks to you for listening. You've been watching The Hunt. I'm Trish. We'll see you next time. Have a good night.